Audible now, Sheetal? Right, okay, perfect. Okay, thank you very much. So, a very good evening once again. I think I'm meeting a lot of you for the second or the third time, maybe, and it's amazing to meet all of you. Well, today we're talking about a very different thing and something that is, if you consider it as a shock, it's a shock to not only all of you, but also to us as well, if you consider it as a shock. However, the reason Lex Templum wanted us to be here and to talk to all of you is, to tell all of you that it is okay to have such happenings and such incidents to happen in our lives, and it only makes us all the more focused, and probably it is blessing in disguise for a lot of us. So, having been at NLS, and that is exactly the reason why I think, it will, if I tell you, maybe it can give you some kind of hope about whatever has happened over just 24 hours or so. So let me begin by saying that, of course, there is no denying that NLS is the premier institute for law in the country. But that again is with regard to the UG program. But when it is about the PG program, what about that? Is it, or is it uh, good, or is it? I mean, the risk that you would be taking up, or the tension that a lot of you are going through, is it worth it or not? If that is how I am supposed to speak to all of you, then let me tell you that first of all, NLS, no matter what it does, it gives you a perspective. And that I think is very important. And for a lot of us who have undergone the LLM program at NLS, we definitely could see a before and after image of ours. And that is the reason why NLS decided to, shed off the baggage of CLAT and to have this exam, the separate exam than that of CLAT, is only to ensure that this aspect or this unique aspect of NLS is maintained and the status quo remains. First of all, if you go to the notification, you would see the most important rationale, or rather the only rationale for moving outside the CLAT mechanism and to have NLAT is because of the trimester system that NLS is following for the past decades, so many decades that it has been following. So in a semester system where you have 6 months as semester 1 and 6 months for semester 2, the time that you have, the gap, the number of hours that you have for yourself is a lot more as compared to a trimester. Now, NLS being a trimester system, what happens is the semester technically ends on the 30th of September. And the exam or rather the CLAT exam is scheduled for the 28th. So not before at least the first week of October that CLAT would be able to come up with its first list. That means NLS would not have trimester 1 as scheduled for the batch of 2021. That is disadvantageous, and that kind of denigrates the reputation of NLSIU Bangalore. And maintaining rank 1 in all the different kinds of gradation that we have, including NIRF, definitely NLS cannot take up this kind of a bad name to its feather. That is the reason. Now, but how can you individually benefit from it? First of all, if you see that NLS has this competitive element to it, which means that you would be, in 1 year, you would be made to go through a very, very rigorous exercise of presentations, teaching, classroom teaching, then different kinds of vivas, going outdoors and having not experiment but field visits, maybe as per your subjects. So you get this advantage in NLS, and for me, what I consider was the most important element was the fact that we are made to go through this in a span of only 3 months. And then you have a break for a month and again you go back. When I was in NLS, I used to say that it is like a blast furnace. You go to that campus in Nagar Bhavi, it is like a blast furnace for 3 months. And when you come out, you breathe, you go back after that. But what it does, in essence, is it trains you for the next course of your life. Mohit is here. He would be talking about his experience of, maybe he might just talk to you all about the judiciary and the preparation for it. And he was going through it whilst he was preparing for LLM as well. So, that rigor is the need of the hour. And we all, I think a lot of you who would be going for NLS would still be going for your judiciary or for some other examination, maybe UPSC, or you would be planning for PhD. But this rigorous thing, this exercise, this mental makeup is what really is I feel is the best part about NLSIU Bangalore. And apart from it, of course, you have some star-stellar faculties teaching all of you. So, when you think on one hand that, oh my God, what just happened? CLAT is no more. I mean, for a lot of you, including me, when I applied, NLS was the limit. It was NLS or nothing. So I'm sure the 44 people that you have joined here, for all of you, that is how it is. NLS is that, and that's it, and you see nothing. So channelize that energy that all of you have, and remember, you have had more than some 6 months of learning and doing all your sample papers, mock tests. We have had all of that. So there is nothing to worry as to, this is the game changer and might just land you all up into a chaos. Not at all. Just thinking it from this perspective and what I had told all of you earlier, I remember in the first class that I was taking with all of you, that if it is difficult for you, it is difficult for everyone out there. But what and how you would be, or it would be different for you and how you will excel, is when you keep your calm and you do it well. And when you do it well, what you remember are the subjects that are offered, which are not offered with the best of faculty anywhere else in the country. Maybe you have Professor M.K. Ramesh, who can change the way you approach life. He can change the way you look at academia. He can just change your life, if I may just use that phrase. So think about all those and think how that so just have that aim of all the hurdles coming your way, just shed those and keep going, because this chance, I feel, is a second chance that all of you are getting. Now, if I come to the disadvantage, what if things go wrong? What will happen then? Then you see, you have NLS. So you are appearing for NLS separately. So you have NLS option open for you. So maybe the top 50 of you would get through NLS, or maybe top 60 with excluding others who might just go for some other law colleges, law NLUs, of course. You again get another opportunity for competing in CLAT. So, had I been in your position, of course, first few hours would be a lot of strain and stress for me. But the moment I would keep calm and I would think from a more optimistic point of view, I would feel that I am getting to test my dream for at least, one more time. Because had it been CLAT, the situation would have been different. There are so many if not buts there. But yes, also you have to be careful about one more thing. That is, with the application fee being reduced to considerably a lot, it is just 150 as I saw, you can expect a lot of students applying from other law colleges also, who are not that advantageous to be applying for CLAT. And mind you, Karnataka and South India actually has a lot of population who might appear because of this. But that being a caveat, that cannot take away your way, or it cannot come in your way in or rather, should I say, between you and NLS. And so all of you who have joined here, I know that NLS is what all of you are striving for. And NLS will definitely give you, as I'm constantly saying, and I reiterate, it gives you a perspective. Don't miss out on NLS just by, being petrified or, having a lot of tension and stress in your mind. Because if it is NLS, you can be sure that it gives you a whole lot of arena, and the opportunity that comes your way is way much more. And also, which I feel did work for a lot of other people I know, is the fact that a lot of you might, for whatever reason may that be, could not do very well in your UG CLAT exam, or maybe a lot of you are from one of the lower ranked NLUs, if we at all term it as lower rank, of course. You have a chance to get that feather on your hat. So use that and think this to be an opportunity which you cannot just let go of. So all that I have been trying to do in this 10 minutes that I have been speaking to you all is that NLS has made a lot of what I am today. It has given me, of course, apart barring the fact that it gave me a lot of friends for life, but it did give me a lot of opportunity. It did give me that power of introspection, power of what you really want to do. I was told that I should just give a little bit of idea about the subjects that are taught. Now, mind you, you have subjects which I think I'm going to carry for the next 40, 50 years of my life is a subject called Earth Jurisprudence. And I am in love with that subject, even though I'm specializing in a different subject altogether. But for those who take up human rights, because NLS provides two streams, one is human rights and the other one is business laws. So for those who would be taking up human rights, you have a subject called Earth Jurisprudence. And NLS is the first institute in the country to give you this particular subject, which is very interesting and is the, is the in thing, is the in thing in the entire arena of environmental law, environmental jurisprudence. Yes, Sheetal's mind was human rights, of course, and that's how I was also exposed to what jurisprudence. You have now, if I come to the other subject that you have international criminal law again for human rights students. International criminal law is hardly taught in the country. In KIT, very proudly I say, I am from KIT, and KIT had this topic, or rather this subject. NLS provides that. And the library that you have, of course, there's no denial to the fact that the best library lies in NLS, of course. Apart from that, what I have learned from my fellow, my batchmates, is that you have the best faculty for IPR, for those who would be taking up business laws. You have the best, and that is Professor Ramakrishna. He is another person who of course, if we term it from the materialistic point of view, he has the exact contacts that you would require to approach WIPO. He has the exact idea as to what is going to happen 10 years down the line in the IPR regime in the country. So imagine, and if you are lucky enough to get the opportunity to do your dissertation under him, there's nothing like it. And of course, coming to dissertation, I must say that the faculties who deal with dissertation, and I think some of you did attend my research methodology class also. The way we were explained research methodology and the love for research methodology that I have, and whatever little I can teach any one of you or anybody else, is because of NLS. So, I am not here advocating for NLS, of course, but what I'm trying to do is trying to tell you all that NLAT has given that extra advantage to all of you to fulfill your dreams. And just go ahead and do it. There's nothing like it, And you have 10 days to prepare exclusively for NLAT. Because all of you have been preparing for CLAT for so many months, you will continue that post 12th as well. But you have 10 days only for NLAT. So imagine, that's why I'm saying for CLAT, rather for NLS, you have that extra advantage which you wouldn't have had there been no pandemic. So think it from that perspective, and I think all of you will do very well. And come on, it is just 3 passages that you have, 10 questions only. You all must have done some 100 passages by now, I'm so sure. So don't have to worry about it. Sheetal says only 7 days. Yes, dear, it's okay. 7 days, but just think you've been preparing for a year. And okay, one more thing I just missed. That is, the decision has been taken around the 25th of August. And so you have, I mean, NLS has barely got a week's time. So don't worry, none of the passages would be from any subject or rather, any case law, which is something which you have not done, which you have no idea about. So all of you are up to date with the landmark and the prominent cases that have come over these years, including last year and this year. So where else can they go? So it is not like it's going to be rocket science. They're going to come up with some cases which you have no idea about. So Maria says important topics to cover in answering strategy. Yes, and according to Imam, which are the cases? Himani. So I think Mohit is there. Mohit is, I call him as the strategist. So he has a lot of strategies for all competitive exams. I think he has appeared for so many of it. So he will deal with the strategy, and also I think he will be dealing with the most important cases. I feel, if you take my opinion, I think August cases should be also important. Can we accept SSR case or succession case? I don't think SSR would be there in NLS's view, at least not presently in the state, because the kind of faculties who are there would, that's my prediction of course, would not be much interested in the SSR case. Also because it is in the process and generally it's from the judgments that are asked. That's what I feel. Ma'am, what is your opinion about draw of lots is a mode of breaker? That's 2 in 30 questions. I know draw of lots is you might feel it to be quite incongruent. However, I'll just tell you that for a lot of competitive exams, you have this mechanism, and this is universally accepted mode. So draw of lots is fine, and just don't think about draw of lots. Just think about securing each and every 2 marks that you would be appearing for. Don't think about draw of lots. That comes much, much later. Draw of lots is there even in moot court competitions. Does that change the game? No. It is your preparation that makes the difference. Draw of lots has nothing to do with it. Just keep calm and do it. Sahil, you have been quite interactive in the last class also. Just stay calm. It will come under 20 suggested judgments. Anuja, I did not get your question. Is it fine in 3? Sahil, can you please? Oh, in 3 questions, right? 3 passages. I think I've answered that. Also, please shed some light on the number of seats for the general category. I forgot the number. I have to just check back and see. So you have 30 for business law and 20 for human rights. I think Sheetal has given, yes, it's 27, I think, for general category, which is quite a lot, believe you me. How to deal with the marking of the, how to deal with marking the answers. I think it is, see, it is not really about, so it is not really about the marking, that is what I would, at least I followed that for all my competitive exams. It is about answering it and answering it correctly. That's it. And the strategy of excluding, or what probability to take in case you do not know a particular question, that is something, I don't know, I think Mohit might be a good resource person to shed some light on it, but I feel it is totally your call. If you think you have had you know it somewhere, it is that intuition, and these intuitions are things which comes with in-depth knowledge. It doesn't come with you having gone through it word by word. So these are things which, if someone is preparing honestly for say 10 days and wants to appear for NLAT or CLAT, it doesn't really happen that way. There's a process. If all of you, I know you all have gone through that process, this shouldn't be difficult at all. Don't think about it. Yes, exactly. That is one more thing. I know it is difficult for all of you to grasp that this you cannot go back to it. But imagine the reason for not being able to go back is because you have very less time. So you could say that it's just do it or you don't do it kind of a situation. But I think all of you have gone through cases. You have the idea and the knowledge that the moment you look at the question, you would be able to understand what it is. So don't worry about it. And see, the question that you ask are absolutely legitimate. The examiners, NLS, is aware of it. And they will be setting questions according to that. Remember these. These are strategies for examiners to set questions. And one more thing, the question that you have is the question that everyone will have as well. So for them too, they might not be able to go back. So the risk that both of you are taking is the same. And that's where what cracks is your calmness in answering the question. Oh, see, Pranjal, I think it's only for 40 minutes that you have. So the fairness about it is not it won't really come into force, because I'll tell you the kind of, so in NLS we used to have open book exams, and we used to really carry lots of books. There were people who would carry suitcases with books, and I'm not joking. But the way the questions are drafted, you cannot at all answer those questions if you do not have the knowledge of the subject matter on which the question is being asked. So the fairness of sitting at home and answering, so you might fear someone might look at the book and answer, that I am sure, I can 100% tell you, that won't really happen. See, 2018 to 18, okay, 16, 17, 18 are important or not. See, it says prominent judgments. And see, now do not think about whether 15 or 14 is important or 1950 is important. It says prominent cases. And the sample questions have been released, and you can get an idea of how it is going to be done. Okay, yes, Sheetal, that is a good question, and I think I will deal with it. And I think I will leave the floor to Mohit after that. Because a lot of questions are pertaining to the strategy, which I think he will deal with much more in depth. So Sheetal asked me a question on the keeping the camera on and audio too. So let me tell you that recently NLS had their PhD exam. In the PhD exam, what they did was they created a Zoom account, and through the Zoom, the link was of course shared with all the registered candidates. All the registered candidates had to log in at that point of time. By the way, you're going to have a trial, but I'm just giving you the example of what happened recently. You log into Zoom just like here you are in Google Meet. Over there, the document having the question paper was shared. Once that was shared, they had to download it. They had to type, of course, it was a subjective exam. So they had to type their answers and email it back to the particular email address that was provided. And since it was on Zoom, everyone had to keep their cameras on, just like I have kept it, and not using any earphones. So the invigilation happened in that manner. So in the grid view, that was how it take place. So probably something similar mechanism would be there, and you do not have to worry about it, because even during the PhD exam, they were they did ensure that every student had a very kind of a static room where they were answering. There was nobody around, otherwise you would be disqualified. So do not think that you would be at a disadvantageous position because of somebody else. But one last piece of advice that I would give to all of you is that please ensure that you have a good internet connection, because as it's mentioned over there that NLS would not be responsible for it, and it's very justified in saying so. So please ensure that you have a good network connection. For that, do whatever is possible, but just ensure that. Okay, so I think it's already some 20 minutes that I've been talking to all of you about, and there are some questions that are here which I will answer through chats. Till the time, I think Mohit will now address all of you. If you have any questions specifically to me with regards to NLS and whatever, you just type it. I'm here for the next at least 10 minutes or so. So I'll answer it over the chat.
Thank you, Smaba.
All of you. Yes.
Thank you, Smaba. I will just try to point out something. Like Sheetal asked how they will use the camera and audio. So we will try to give you the same platform or same environment setup, like a camera and audio mix test in our mock test or NLAT. So don't worry about that. We will try to give that thing a live feel. Okay, so Mohit will continue. Mohit.
Yes, I'll continue. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
So, so guys, I'm not going to, so I am not here to basically give my introduction, as most of you know me. So, right, I'm going to speak about the subject matter at hand. And that is something that you have got very less amount of days to prepare for this NLS examination. Now, the first thing is that you already have been preparing. Now, initially when I read the notification, I was not having this idea that the pattern has not been changed. So the good news is that the pattern has not been changed. But if you ask me personally, in my opinion, already I had an interaction with all of you yesterday also. So my opinion is that the judgments of the month of August will hold significant prominence because most probably this decision has been taken in the last half of August month. Something which is clearly something that has been written in media also, right? So we have been reading stuff, and it is clearly mentioned that this decision to actually hold a separate examination, separate and individual examination, was taken in the last part of August, which basically means that the Hindu Amendment Act judgment, the judgment which was pronounced by the Honorable Supreme Court on 5th of September, in my opinion, that becomes a very important judgment. Now, I am basically going to speak about the kind of questions and the nature of questions which are going to be asked. I will not be speaking about courses and etc., something which has been done very exhaustively by Sumava. So, directly I will be speaking about the merit of the examination now. So, yes, in my opinion, if you ask me, the reservation judgment came a week back, right? So a constitution bench judgment was delivered by the Supreme Court, which referred the matter to a larger bench, in which the Supreme Court said that we can have sub-classification within SC or ST. Now that, yes, the Devendra Singh judgment, that is an important judgment. Now, even if in case you don't have sufficient time, I would expect and anticipate that you will go through the writings which are mentioned in live law, right? Because see, I think 30 minutes or 40 minutes prior, there is this thing which is coming up and popping up in media that the executive council meeting took place today also. So I'm basically speaking about the executive council meeting of the consortium, and in that meeting, the vice chancellor of National Law School Bangalore was present. And after the meeting was over, he comes forward and he gives a statement in the media that he still is committed with this plan of holding a separate examination. Now, in spite of the fact that several writ petitions are filed firstly, I think in Jharkhand High Court, they have filed a writ petition, and we can anticipate that more number of writ petitions will be filed. But these are things which are absolutely not in control of yours. I have seen all your questions that you have been asking about, sir, whether cheating can take place. What will be the nature of the questions? Guys, I have always been telling you this particular thing, and this is my clear-cut stance. Please don't try to control things which you cannot control. At the end of the day, the decision makers who are sitting in the castles of National Law School Bangalore, they have made up their mind and they have taken a decision. Now, they also understand the consequences of decision, because the CLAT consortium is saying that if this particular year National Law School Bangalore is going to organize a separate examination, from next year onwards, they are not a part of CLAT consortium. We will throw you out. Now, all these things are something which we cannot control, as a result of which we should not even think about it, right? बहुत लोगों का examination on 6th, I anticipate that most of you are appearing for DU LLM entrance examination also, right? So, in my opinion, thinking about the procedural part, reservation kitna hai, cheating kitna hai, jo bhi hai, it is common for every single individual. Let us not think about that particular thing. What happened with the NET? What happened with the JEE aspirants and the NEET aspirants? There was a pan-India movement of postponing the examination, but nothing happened, right? At the end of the day, the JEE examination is happening. So my only suggestion will be to you that please keep revising all the important judgments. But since this decision has been taken in the second half of August, I anticipate that questions which have come, the cases which has been pronounced by the Honorable Supreme Court in the month of August holds prominent significance. The reason is because that is something which is covering the entire national mood, whether it's the SC/ST judgment, whether it's the 2005 judgment. Now, talking about the Sushant Singh judgment, in spite of the fact that it is not something which has brought in a new jurisprudence. See, that the judgment which has been given by the single judge bench in Sushant Singh case, right, of ordering CBI for investigation, is not something new. The jurisprudence is well settled. So if you see it from that particular perspective, probably that it has got very less chances of being asked in the examination. But since you will try to cover since my intention will be to cover, and your intention will be to cover as many judgments it is possible. So you should also do it if you have time, but it should be in the lower levels of your hierarchy. When you make a hierarchy of important judgments, please Sushant Singh's case should be in the lower levels of hierarchy, right? Now, uh, uh, the other thing, now I am anticipating, please, this is something which is my observation. See, because they have come up with a sample question for the UG students. I think you must have gone through the NLS website. They have come up with a sample question for the UG students, and that question is mighty tough. Let me tell you, that question is mighty tough. So, if we see it commensurately, the question which they are going to ask you in LLM examination is also going to be mighty tough. Either it, so the sample papers which were released by CLAT consortium, the earlier samples paper which came in the month of March and then subsequently, I am anticipating that it is going to be a very difficult question. Now, Sumava had already made it very had made it extremely clear that in spite of the fact that you are having access to internet and you are giving the examination in your room or in your home, then also the kind of questions which they will be setting, that in case if you have not read the case or if you don't have a strong understanding of jurisprudence, you will not be able to solve those 30 cases. वो ऐसा नहीं है कि questions online हम लोग search कर लिए and you will be able to do that. No, that is not going to happen. So at this point of time, it's very important to trust the wisdom of all those individuals who are sitting in NLS and who have come up with this strategy of holding a separate examination, right? So let us trust the wisdom of all those individuals who have taken this decision. I know this is something which is giving you a lot of problems. This year is actually a year of problems, but that should not derail you, demotivate you. The pattern remains the same. The pattern has not changed. Had there been a change in pattern, that would have been a subject of very big controversy. But that has not happened in this case. But yes, the syllabus might have increased because now you have to cover the recent judgments of August also. So guys, in my opinion, don't freak out. You have got 7 to 8 days. Make a plan, right? Like 3 to 4 important judgments per day. But do cover all the important judgments which have come in the month of August. That is something which I personally feel. In addition to this, now because after seeing the stand of Vice Chancellor of National Law School Bangalore, there is a 60-40 chance, like 70-30 chance, you can say 70% there is a chance that he will go with this idea of convening a separate examination. Of course, unless and until the Honorable Supreme Court or any High Court interferes in this matter. Now, all these things are extraneous things, something which we cannot control. The only thing which I can tell you is that please keep yourself aloof. वैसे we are living in this corona world. You are in a way alienated. Don't read all those articles, specifically the news articles which are coming in live law and all. That is something which is beyond your control. Just concentrate on the cases, the important cases. Now you are asking me, can you come up? Yes. Can you come up with 7 days plan? See, I have already told you. So we know that we have now. See, I have seen the list of these cases which has been released by Lex Templum. All those cases are of extreme importance. So you can basically concentrate on the Sabrimala controversy. And see, I just need to go back and just see the cases. Those cases are extremely important. Now it depends. See, you are asking me for a 7 days plan. Yeah. The Prashant Bhushan case is without a doubt an important case. It's a contempt case. Believe you me, I have gone through the judgment. There is no new jurisprudence. Dipti and all of you, in spite of the fact that it had large political implications, it's not a very important jurisprudential case in which you can make 10 quality questions. For the sake of making questions, you can make 10 questions. You can ask questions from Contempt of Courts Act also. Now, if I had been in your position, of course, I will read the entire judgment and I will also peruse the provisions of Contempt of Courts Act. That is very important. Plus Hindu Succession Act 2005. That is a watershed development. That is a watershed development in Hindu personal laws, right? So, in my opinion, that is a question. That is a question which can be very well asked. Apart from that, we have got plethora of judgments in relation to anti-defection laws and reservation and religion. So, if you ask me that, Mohit sir, please give me 3 broad areas, I will now. This is something which I'm advising you. This is my personal suggestion. I might be wrong, basing upon my experiences and all those legal developments which has taken place in the past 1.5 years. Reservation is an important subject matter. Anti-defection is an important subject matter, plus this 2000 and 2005 amendment. So basically the Hindu Succession Act amendment. That is an important thing. Apart from that, religion is an important thing. You have already, yeah. Now Padmanabh Swamy case becomes important. See, Padmanabh Swamy case contains a lot of facts. It contains a lot of facts because it basically deals with the treaty which was signed by the Indian Union with the princely states. So if they are going to ask you, if they are going to ask you questions which are based on facts, then Padmanabh Swamy becomes extremely important. Now, for all those individuals who have gone through the Padmanabh Swamy case, let me tell you, it contains a lot of facts. You have to basically go through a lot of facts. And then, of course, the Privy Purse case. The Privy Purse case, it has got huge citations of the Privy Purse case, but it has not come up with certain very new jurisprudence, right? So in my opinion, for NLS, you can you can basically leave that out if you have not done it till this particular point of time. But please concentrate on the reservation part, the SC and ST reservation part, because this is something which is covering the entire country. SC and ST, the subclassification, this corona pandemic, of course, contempt is very important. Free speech and expression is very important. We had Anuradha Bhasin case. SC/ST Atrocities Act case. See, if you, Dipti, if we see it from that particular perspective, we will have like 20 to 30 cases which are very important. And that is the reason because of which I'm trying to circumvent your entire circle. I am saying reservation, religion, contempt, succession. That's it. So if you have got less time and if you have not read the entire jurisprudence and all the subject matters, try keeping your circle less, concentrate on all these important matters. And that is what I anticipate personally. Is it fine? And for all of you who have been continuously reading judgments, please see, there is no change in pattern, guys. Please don't be worried. Don't be petrified. When I got to know about the examination, I was petrified that they have actually changed the pattern. When I came to, yeah, minority rights is, see, we have got the NIT judgment. We have the NIT judgment. See, Maria, we have got so many important cases. That's what I'm saying. But I am speaking about 3 important things which are still in news and which can be asked in my opinion. I know minority rights is an important thing which affects every person. And then we have got the NIT judgment. The NIT judgment from the Supreme Court is an important thing. Talking about abrogation of Article 370, freedom of speech and expression, we have got Anuradha Bhasin. We have got all those judgments. But if you have got less time, please concentrate on reservation, anti-defection, religion, contempt, and 2005 amendment basically means the Hindu Succession Act judgment. These are the 5 areas which you should cover exhaustively in the upcoming 7 days, something which I anticipate. Yeah. Now, and yes, someone was asking me about the AGR case, right? At Justice, yeah, AGR case. Now, AGR case has been making rounds in the past 7 days. I hope all of you are aware about the AGR case. The AGR case, the telecom case, the much talked about telecom case. Now, it is a, yeah. So even if you are not aware of, let me tell you that it is in relation to the license which is given by the government to the telecom companies. The moot question is that the telecom companies have not paid the license fees to the government, as a result of which this matter went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said that you have to pay all the remaining dues in a period of 10 years, which will start from 2021. Right. So this was the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, which came in the last week. I think it was a Justice Arun Misra led judgment. So AGR, in my opinion, see, if you have gone through the entire fiasco, you can go through it. But for the time being, it is not something which will be asked. It contains a lot of fact, but very less amount of jurisprudence. Right. Something which is in relation to rules, bylaws, regulations, and etc. Not something which is academically perfect to be asked in an examination. Yeah. Okay. So any more questions, guys? If you have got questions, you can ask me. You can unmute yourself and ask me a question directly also, not a problem. So whatever questions you have asked. Common cause judgment. See, common cause judgment, I think it has already been asked in the sample paper of CLAT, isn't it? Which judgment are you speaking about, Utkarsa? The common cause, I think it has been asked. Euthanasia has been asked. No, please don't travel the same road once again. I've already told you guys all the questions which has been asked in the sample paper. There is no chance of. I am now saying. See, I am saying this with a lot of conviction, and that is what I feel. There is no chance that those questions will be repeated once again. This country has got a lot of legal controversies, and we are extremely open. So we have got other matters, other very significant and prominent matters, right? So please don't go through the cases. Now, speaking about this particular thing, key sir questions. No, Sahil, not even Putta Swami. Not even Putta Swami. That is a controversy which is of 2017, 2018. So Sahil and all the other students, please concentrate on the 2020 and 2019 very important judgments. See, anyhow, we have already interacted and we know that there are like 15 to 20 very important judgments. So my suggestion to all of you will be that in the upcoming 7 days, try covering all the important judgments along with the important judgments which has been pronounced in the month of August, and the judgments which you have left it after 12th. If the examination takes place after 12th, you can do it for the CLAT examination. Is it okay? Should we no, please, no amendments, arbitration, negotiable instruments for National Law School Bangalore. Don't concentrate on it. It's as simple as that. Only cases. Yeah, now Tej Singh and Joseph Stein is an important part. Yes. Panduranga judgment, talking from commercial law, see, Panduranga judgment, no doubt it's important from the perspective of CLAT. No doubt, because it is an important judgment in that commercial section. But see, again, I'm telling you, for me, it's reservation, religion, contempt, that. First, try covering all these important subject matter. Once you are done with it, then you can go to the other areas which you have not covered. Now, let me talk about the marking pattern. Now, a lot of you are worried that even if we leave the question, we will have 0.25. Isn't it? Isn't it? So, now, most of you, yeah. No, Kritika, no. Apart from the Panduranga judgment, in my opinion, you should not at this point of time read any other important commercial law case. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not, Himansi. You are saying that, okay, so yeah, Himansi asks a wonderful question that, sir, because they have got specialization in only 2 subjects. Now, that is something which will be extremely prejudicial. Your specialization will not decide the content of the syllabus, and that is something which is not reflected in the notification. So I am not anticipating that, but human rights, you can expect questions from constitutional law. That is why I am saying. So now your indication, what you are asking is, see, this is something which can be anticipated. This can be anticipated, but when they're speaking about, yeah, CLAT asked questions on IBC. See, IBC is something which is a very important development. That particular thing was already justified by Faizan Mustafa, sir. IBC was asked because it is a very important legal development. Questions can be asked on GST also. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Seetal, absolutely. See, all of you are mature enough to make your own individual assessment. At this particular point of time, had I been in your position, I would not be seeking a lot of suggestions from random individuals. Right? Kiska kya? You know, you have been in this process for the past 6 months. You have gone through so many cases. The important thing is to analyze yourself. Now, some of you were asking, I saw a question that, sir, if you can tell me the cutoff. No, it is again not possible. That is something which you have to go and analyze in the examination itself. Yeah. Right. That is something which you are going to go and analyze in the examination itself. Right. So, but believe you me, this is something which is expected from analysts, the kind of question which they will set for LLM students, right? The questions, in my opinion, is going to be difficult. Those questions will not be such questions where you can just go out and find an answer. They know this. The decision makers who are sitting in the casuals of analysts, they know that there is a chance of cheating. that some unscrupulous students can also come into the system. So they will have all their system intact, and even if it is not intact, you cannot do something. We are helpless. So the only thing, yeah. So do you think it will be a mix of constitution, criminal law, and business law? Probably. Probably. In my opinion, questions will come from constitutional law, the human rights part. So anti-defection, religion, contempt. The recent judgment, because they have specifically mentioned prominent cases, right? Prominent cases. Now, if you ask me prominence, now when we interpret the word prominence, Sushant Singh Rajput case is not a prominent case. It's an important political case. Are you understanding? So we need to basically go through all those judgments which has prominent jurisprudence. Now, and just coming to the last thing, because I don't want to consume a lot of time of yours, you already have a week left. Now, the last thing would be that, again, I'm telling you the same strategy. Just don't be encouraged by this particular fact that अगर हम question छोड़ेंगे भी तो point -25 होगा. So it's better that we should attempt all the questions. No, please don't attempt all the questions. Not at all. अगर आपको लग रहा है 15 questions भी आपको आता है, do 15 questions only. Let me tell you very confidently. That is something which you have to assess on the day of the examination when you are sitting in the hall. All of you have seen the level of questions which were asked in the sample paper. आप सबने देखा है, questions देखा है. I think all of you have done your analysis. You know your level. You have appeared in so many mocks. आपने देखा है कि इस लेवल के मॉक में हाईएस्ट कितना जा रहा है in 60s out of 120. So 50%. I have already told you. और जैसा एनालिस्ट क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, एनी डे एनीथिंग above 15 will be a great score unless and until they don't ask a very easy question, which in my opinion they are not going to ask. They are not going to ask 15 questions. So then how can we decide which 15 questions? Now, Seetal, that is something which will depend upon your experience of taking all these mocks, right? So I know that is actually a very challenging situation for all of you कि एग्जाम में पता करना कि हमें कितना बनाना है. But in my opinion, if you are securing below 10 or below 5, I'll say if you are securing below 5 or below 10, then you should actually go with all the questions, because in my opinion, cutoff kitna bhi kam rahega, it will not go down below 10 marks. It will not go down below 10 marks. So if you are scoring less than 10 questions, or if you don't even know 10 questions, then I'll tell you to attempt all the questions. And see, अगर आप questions छोड़ भी रहे हैं तो 0.25 होगा. And for your wrong answer, it's 0.50. Now that 0.25, आपको अभी लग रहा होगा कि उसका उतना impact नहीं है, but let me tell you, when the rank list will come on 0.25, 15 to 20 students will be there. So they are basically challenging your decision-making process ability. What kind of okay, there is no rank list. There is no rank list. Directly they will be coming up with a okay, fine enough. So this is not transparent actually. This is not even transparent. So because they need to fasten the process, they have even okay. So that is something which I shouldn't comment upon them. But in my opinion, just for the sake of attempting all the questions, don't attempt the questions. If you are securing more than 15 or 17, and if you feel that you don't know the other 10 questions, don't attempt those questions. All the very best. Any questions? Yeah, for all those 20 to 15 to 20 students, if you personally ask me, that is something which I don't support, but it's okay. Yeah, we can't evaluate how many questions. Okay, so that particular thing is also there. My God, so this is actually very difficult. Yeah. So guys, you have to take one question at one point of time and just assess the merit of that particular question. That is the only thing which you can do. See, a lot of problems are there, I know, but you don't have any options right now. That is the only thing which I can tell, which I can say. Yeah, this is extremely difficult. This is extremely complicated and sophisticated also. But guys, please don't lose your morale. Study in the upcoming 7 days. Whatever you will study in the upcoming 7 days will of course come into play for the CLAT examination. Give your best shot. I know a lot of you were aiming for NLS Bangalore, and believe you me, still you will go through it. So don't try to control things which you cannot do. Just concentrate on those things which you can. Is this fine? I hope this is fine for everyone. Okay? Yes. So all the best, guys. And for all the students who are taking up DU LLM examination, please solve the past year questions. All the students who are taking the DU LLM examination, please solve the past year questions. Is it fine? Now that was something, that strategy was adopted by me in the past week. See, when I appeared in DU LLM, and let me tell you very confidently, I solved all the questions of the past 10 years, did a significant and a handsome analysis of all the questions and the subject matters in which questions were asked, and that was more than sufficient. And that was enough for me to get rank 17 or 18 in DU LLM entrance examination. So if you have done your work honestly in the past year, if your basics are correct, just do this particular thing. And because you don't have a lot of time left also, you have hardly got 2 days. So all the best, guys. In case if you have got any questions, you can always mail me, right? So please mail me in case if you have got any question or ping me up. Okay. All the best, guys.
Mohit. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, Smava, for such a nice session. I hope all of your doubts are clear. So we will try to conduct 2 mock tests on the basis of NLAT 2020. Clearly, we will try to conduct camera and mic test with all the same facilities and try to develop that thing also. Okay. So hope all the best, guys, and thank you so much.